how are you connecting and where are you connecting? Make sure you're out in the physical world as well as being in the digital world. Make sure you're sharing in all the places you go to. And if you're not going to a lot of places, which a number of people haven't been able to go to until recently, I'm sure you were dreaming about those physical places. So they're all opening up. Head into those physical places, share who you are and share what you're doing. Hello and welcome. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to your needs, the needs of the practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business and something clinical each week, you'll get the variety you need and enjoy to stay motivated in practice. Hello everyone and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. Today I thought I'd talk to you about getting back out there because we're opening up. The world is opening up and we've rather forgotten what's out there. So let's think about the places that we can go, what we can do and what we can offer. So I'm not going back out there personally. I'm staying online. I do see clients in my rooms and I will continue to see the few that I do. They're the older clients, the clients who aren't coping well with being online, who did it while they had to, but they're the only ones who are coming back in to see me. But when we're new to practice or when we're starting out in practice, it's really important that we let our community know that we're here. And our community has tons of places that we can share our information. Now, libraries are a fantastic resource. The libraries are changing. They're not the place they were when I was a child, was absolute silence and you went in and it was all the strict librarian at the front. Oh no. Now it's lovely open desks, supportive staff, people helping you to do things, offering courses and classes. There's computers there, there's study rooms, all sorts of things in your local library. And it's a great way of connecting. I've delivered talks in libraries before. Some libraries have contacted me and asked me to give talks after they've seen me giving talks in other places. And on other occasions, I've offered my services. They always have an information and connection board. It's great to put your information up there. The reason I mention libraries is because they often have a space. My local library has a number of study rooms upstairs, but it also has a huge hall attached to it because it's attached to the council buildings. So it means that if I wanted to, I could actually rent that room. I can rent the space. I can borrow space. You can use the meeting rooms for free as long as you're a library member. And so it's a really useful place out in the community to know that it exists. And community libraries want to be useful. They want to be a resource to the community. They don't want people just thinking the old library thing where you borrow a dusty book and that's it. No, they want to be a place where you can go and read magazines you wouldn't otherwise buy, that you can talk to people who know what they're talking about, and that is you. So where can you go out into the community? So with, say, pediatrics, it might be that your child youth health group will take your card, or if you've got a young baby, they will listen to you and they might share your information. They often can't because they are a government organisation. But that's not to say the local kindergarten, the local childcare centre can't take that information if you work with children. When your children are at school, obviously, you're able to share with the other mothers in the yard. But there might also be a school notice board that you can put your information on, a digital notice board, advertising. The school often wants to fundraise. So if you join the fundraising committee, then you might be able to, whatever, there might be a business fundraiser. So at the school we were at, we had bricks. You bought a brick, so my business bought a brick. Those sorts of things. There was a directory. One of the schools, we had a directory, and then it became a digital directory. And these sorts of things you can advertise in, and they're really helpful. So really think about, where can I go out in the community now that we're getting back out there, now things are opening up, and what can I do with the people around me? So, my community now is really online. So, my community, I need people to know me in my community, and people do, and they did, because I went out into those spaces that I've just described. But now my community is more mentoring. So my community is here on this podcast, you listening to me now. So I want to share my information. I started a podcast a number of years ago and it went nowhere. It's not that easy to run a podcast. It's a lot of information, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort. And so I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to go straight into podcasting, although it is an opportunity if you're a talker like me and you're a bit tech savvy. So there is that opportunity so that you can get out to a wider community and a wider group of people. Facebook groups are a fantastic way of doing that. On my front page, geraldineheadley.com, there is actually a create your own Facebook education thing. It's the Facebook page, Facebook groups, and what you need to do. It's very simple, very quick, gets you up and gets you started course. So there's that if you need it. I do a lot of work in my Facebook groups. I have a number of Facebook groups. Hopefully you're in my Facebook groups. I do talk about them all the time. The Strictly Education and Support, and if you're a qualified practitioner, Strictly Practitioners in Australia and New Zealand. So these are other community spaces, but they happen to be online. So when I'm in those groups, I'm telling people, I'm answering their questions because we have to be community. We have to work to the community. We share in that community, whether it be a physical community or whether it be an online community. We actually need to be in more than one place. So if you're a real talker, you might be into Clubhouse. I did Clubhouse for a little bit. I didn't really get into it. I have the app and I have a membership. So if you wanted an invite, you're more than welcome to ask me for one because I've got several sitting there. But what I'm saying is it's about community. So we want community outside, we want community inside, we want community in other places. So different cafes, can you leave your card? Can you leave your information? I was talking to a mentee yesterday and she's trying to integrate her modalities into her naturopathy. So she has physical modalities as well. So we had a long chat about that and how she could do that. She's part of the practitioner coaching course at the moment. But it means when we think about creating our content, when we think about creating and sharing, we have to think, who is this person I'm giving it to? Where is this person located? How can I get to them? How can I get to them, online, but how can I get to them in person as well? Is there a physical medium that I can use because people aren't using physical mediums? So if I have a big list and I have their addresses, people aren't getting Christmas cards these days. I used to send Christmas cards and they'd be ignored. But now I sent Christmas cards last year and people really appreciated them. So maybe you can be sending Christmas cards to your active list and cards through the year to your non-active list on their birthdays. How is it you're connecting with people and where are you connecting with them? Are you connecting them on specific days? You could send them an email. My hairdresser sends me an email on my birthday with a $20 off voucher for my birthday. So, how are you connecting and where are you connecting? Make sure you're out in the physical world as well as being in the digital world. Make sure you're sharing in all the places you go to. And if you're not going to a lot of places, which a number of people haven't been able to go to until recently, I'm sure you are dreaming about those physical places. So they're all opening up. Head into those physical places, share who you are and share what you're doing. So I've decided for Black Friday that I'm going to put my pediatric course. I do it live round once a year in August. So it's going to be a long time until August, until the live round. And there's a lot of questions in all the groups at the moment about pediatrics. So one way of sharing, one way of communicating, one way of getting out there to the masses is to go, okay, let's do a Black Friday deal on the pediatrics course, because it will be online. They won't, you can't interact with me. It's not like being in the live round where you get to ask all those questions of me all the time. So let's just do this one-off Black Friday if it works. Maybe I'll do it again next year. Who knows? But it's a long time till the live round. So I'm communicating that. Where am I communicating it? Where am I going to put that information? That's what you need to think about what you're doing. Where can you share it? So you can share it. Maybe you can connect and have a podcast with someone, swap podcasts if you have one, or share a discussion with someone in a Facebook group. Who can you connect with and where can you connect them in both the physical space and the online space? And you might need to sit down, write it down and figure it out. Now, the link to my courses will be in the show notes, of course, but really think, where is my connection? How can I learn more, give more, share more? Where can I learn more, give more, and share more? All right, so just some thoughts for today, because things are opening up and it's a really good idea to best foot forward, get out there and see what spaces want you to share, because they're opening up too. You know, hairdressers are great, cafes are great, places where you know people, places where they're keen on small businesses being encouraged and to reciprocate with them as well. Write yourself a list. I look forward to hearing from you. Message me. Tell me where you think is, or email me, Geraldine at mentoringwithgeraldine.biz, and tell me, where is your place? Where is it that, is giving you the shares? I had a cafe that would do my cards. They give out my cards all the time and give out my cards all the time. But where do you think would be a great place for you? What is a great place for you? And what's opening up for you now that the world is opening up? Have a good think, jot it all down, see what you can offer, and let me know if I can help. Have a really good one, won't you? And I look forward to catching up with you really, really soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.